Okay, so hi, thank you. So I'm talking to Mirco Pegoraro. He's CEO of Geoplast and product designer of Geoplast. And we've been working Mirco for about, I think, 5-6 years now. And I've been trying to help you and your company, you know, spread the designs that you made, the innovation that you made. So it's a very difficult job. We've been working at it for a long time, and it's definitely not easy. And I like it a lot. And I just wanted that we chat a little bit about who you are and what you do, and stuff like that. So how did it happen that you have a company? I mean, as I know, your parents had a company. They were working
Yes,
with recycling plastics, and then what
yes,
was
yes. My parents, my father especially started with recycling plastic, and recycle especially two type of plastics, polypropylene and polyethylene. And then when I finish university, we decide to propose some products made with our plastic, and we started with formulas for foundations. And we started a little bit to enter in the world of construction.
Mhm.
Yes, my in the beginning when I was young, I was attracted by electricity and something like that.
You were
So
attracted to electricity.
to electricity, yes.
You're
Yes.
attractive and attracted to electricity.
Yeah, yeah. And so it was strange to be in a field of construction and buildings and so on. And so, but it's very interesting because I appreciate some part of my job, especially to when I able to simplify something about job site or and during this period I don't know if I invented, but I designed some products, many a lot of products, and someone was a great success, someone not, and but yes,
But how
yes,
did you come?
it's not an effort for me to design now. It's so naturally, but it's very fun to me to design, to think new solution, new products, and so up to now, yes, we are yes a nice company. We are a
Yeah.
nice company.
So, but how did the first product happen? Like you had the idea, and then you had to get your father and others probably and your parents involved in it, and that was a switch from doing one thing to doing something that is more risky, that is new.
Uh, yes. What happened when they think
Meaning
I
the first product was modular, which is a foundation for
yes
construction. And,
modulo.
and, and I'm imagining you're like in the middle of the night, you're thinking, wow, this is a great thing. We have to do this. And then, I guess that was a big step to have
No,
this start.
modulo was an idea that born looking other competitors,
Right?
and we tried to improve their products in the
Mhm.
beginning because we had not experience to innovate it with a new products, but we improve
Yeah,
a product already existed in the market.
yeah,
But I think that the real new product, like you say, innovated or
yeah.
innovative, is the Formox Geo Panel.
Mm.
Geo Panel, it was the only product that changed literally the manner to build the construction.
Okay. And how much time did it take from modulo to gel panel? I don't remember the years. I know.
7 years, seven
Okay.
years, more or
Okay.
less.
And
7
there
years.
was a series of products. So it took you a
Yeah,
while to,
yeah,
it was 7 years before you entered the production of products, design, the whole process of designing
yeah,
and producing until you made something that really changes things.
yeah.
And I do agree. I mean, GeoPanel is amazing. I mean, it really changed just to explain to people who don't know. So GeoPanel is a plastic formwork. So it's used to shape the concrete when they're pouring concrete on the site. And it's much lighter. It doesn't use, usually it's made with wood and metal, And what Mirco invented is that it's using plastics, which makes it so much lighter. There is no need for machinery. People can assemble it like super quick. And unfortunately, it's not used all over the world, but definitely it's catching up. There is no, it's impossible that it's not going to catch up all over the world. So it's definitely it's taking traction and it's growing. So it just takes time. So how was the start of your company? How did that go? So you made Modulo and then you were selling it yourself. How?
Yeah, yes,
Because now you're a
because
100 people company. You have a
no.
production facility.
We was very small. I sell for myself for the first 5 years between 1998 to 2005, more or less. I was alone in the company, and I sell myself my products.
Yeah.
And so I had a good experience with the clients. I met good people that learned me a lot of things about the job site, and now I have many contacts with my client to understand how to improve their works, their job, how to how yes. How can Geoplast help them to build? Yes.
Yeah. And so who was your first client? Do you remember the first client? The first person who decided to use your product?
Yeah, probably my distributor in Spain. In Spain, Barcelona, was engineer Demas. Yeah, now he's 72 years old, more or less.
Okay.
And so I spent a long time in 2003 in the show of Barcelona, and to design the first products for slabs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were young. You were like 20s, I think, back then. Early 30s, late 20s.
I was.
I don't know. Yeah, you're. I don't know. I'm not very good with math. That's why I'm not. I'm not an engineer. But I mean, yeah. So you were a young guy with this
Yeah, young
product that
guy.
was
I don't know
strange.
because I born in 1972, so it was, I don't know, 20, 25, not 28
Yeah.
or 30.
So now in 2020, I mean, since we're working on this bigger vision because you made a lot of products. They're all working together, and they all deliver kind of the same thing, which is to make the construction more efficient, make it more sustainable, etc. So this is a vision that developed over time, over a long time.
Yeah.
So when did this vision take shape? When did you start to think just beyond making a product, but making something bigger?
It's difficult to determine at the time that I was the vision, because the trend, I don't know when the trend of sustainability, smart city born in the past. When I saw this trend, I love it, and I find my vision in this type of trend. And so definitely I love to transform waste plastic in something good for environmental. This is my core business, because I love to innovate it, but also using also waste material.
Yeah.
Because I think the problem of innovation, something is the innovation produce a lot of wastes. And so using that to create something good for environmental is very good.
So what you're saying, like as companies and society are making new things, they're also creating new waste. And that what you're advising is that whenever someone is creating something new, they need to make sure that they're reusing something old, that they're not creating new waste. Okay,
Yes.
that's a good point. I mean, we've been working 5 years, and I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I did probably, but I forgot it. Yeah, that's a nice point. You should put it, in the on the homepage or something. What is your design process? How do you come up? How do you decide which products to make, and how do you learn about what customers need?
Always happened suddenly. And
Yeah.
so I don't know when I have idea. Could be my house when I sleep or in office. In office, I think never I had idea in office in my company.
Okay.
No, it's
Yeah.
quite impossible.
You
It's
should make the
impossible.
office in your bedroom.
Yeah. No, yes, my office is like a
Sponge. Yeah.
sponge, and I absorb every kind of information from my sales, from my clients, but I don't think about that.
Yeah.
And so I absorb everything, and when I alone, far from my company, something often I have idea of
Yeah.
some product to solve some problems,
Okay.
because I can say that never I had idea in my company.
Yeah. And do you prototype it? What do you do? What's the next step? You draw it on paper?
No, I draw only my mind.
Okay.
I draw only my mind,
And
because I think the product in 3D method, and
yeah.
so I think the mold, I think the process to inject the plastic, I think the machine to use to produce, I think the cost,
Mhm.
and in the end I design with my
Yeah.
designer,
Yeah.
because when I have idea, I never had a paper, a white paper to write something.
Mhm.
I don't have it. And
Okay.
when I have idea, I take my car and I go to my design. That it was a partnership with a studio near my company, and I start to design immediately. And so the
Okay.
process is very short for me. It's very
Okay.
short.
And do you do any checks, any analysis, or you just immediately when you design it in AutoCAD and you make a mold and do
I
you 3D
design
print it or?
AutoCAD, the 3D printer. I use 3D printer to in the last period. I use a lot of 3D printing in scale,
Mhm.
because sometimes the piece is very big, and I analyze the thickness, I analyze the structure, that so to verify if the piece is strong enough for the applications, and then I start immediately with the with the mold.
Mhm.
Sometimes I block the project when I finish the design, and
Mhm.
now I have I think 5, 6 projects
Mhm.
blocked, because
What do you mean by blocked? You mean on
I
pause?
stopped. No, I blocked because no, I blocked because I'm not certain that can works.
That it's not gonna
I'm
work.
not, yes, yeah, I'm not
Okay.
sure that can works.
Okay. So it's a very intuitive process. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
very, in my case, yes.
Yeah. Well, I think in a lot of cases, yeah. I mean, when I design, it's kind of the same thing. So, I mean, what I like is that what's interesting for me is that I make software mostly, and then I
My
need to know engineering from the software side. But you work with huge machines, and
yes,
your office is just next to all these machines. You want to be close to the machines, and you know everything about them. So that's very interesting. That you know every aspect of how the product can be made
yeah, yeah.
physically.
I think that the innovation is only immediately.
Yeah.
Innovation is born immediately in short time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, creativity, I think,
Yeah,
but
creativity.
getting people to accept it, I think it's a long process.
Why? Because I always needed to put a gap between us and our competitor.
Yeah,
It's like a competition,
yeah,
because innovation born because there is a competition in my case,
yeah,
and because I love competition. I love challenge with challenge with my competitors, and to overcome them, I inventing something different to maintain my gap.
yeah. So, do you think that being competitive person is a necessary component of being a creative person? Meaning
Yes,
that it's all
absolutely,
about like how you
absolutely.
relate to others. Do you think? Meaning, for example, do you think that someone can be creative and innovative, but not really caring to compete with others, just focusing on the need of someone else?
in my mind, is not the real innovative.
Well, maybe they don't have a company. Maybe they work as a doctor or something.
Yeah.
Invent penicillin. Yeah. So, I mean, since you're talking about competition, so, you own a medium-sized business, so it didn't explode to the global size. Hopefully one day it will. So how do you relate, how do you compete against the big companies? I mean, what is that relationship? You as a medium company, you're inventing things, but you're still like very, very fragile compared to them. They could be very aggressive.
This is a very big point. This because in our company we have recently we have to compete a very big company in the same business we are, and the problem is the power that the company has in terms of investment capability to invest.
Yeah.
Because I think that if you don't have money enough to expand your innovation, the limitation are yes, you can have limitations. Yeah, we are not we are not very lucky because we live in Italy. In Italy, the country is not so open to financing invention like other countries.
Yeah.
This is real. This is reality because if we lived in USA, probably the expectation could be bigger.
Okay. So, but do you think it's possible to compete against a big company and grow to that level just on pure innovation, just on finding a great solution, or you think the brute force, money, put in sales, advertising, marketing, etc., is the only way?
Now the brute force is winning.
Yeah.
Now the brute force is winning. Because if we innovated, the big company can copy you, and with brute force to put out of the market.
Yeah.
And so yeah, the legal issues is very
Yeah.
is very difficult to run.
But do you think this situation is delivering more value for customers? Meaning, do end customers get more value through this process, or are big companies kind of?
Yeah, the way could be right to deliver more value to the customer in terms of services, engineering, and so on.
Yeah.
But in theory, theoretically, the bigger company can do the same. Can do the same.
Meaning they can also invent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't do that often. Huh?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we covered everything. Do you have any any last words? Sounds strange. Yeah.
No, that's true.
Okay.
No, what I think it's I don't innovation is very terms that is used a lot in many parts of yes posts that I see, but I think that the innovation is only to change something. It only is related a big change. Innovation is not a small change.
Yeah.
Yes, now we have produced some innovation with a small or medium change. When you produce a big innovation with a great change, probably the probability to compete with the big competitors could be easier.
Yeah. Well, I think if you created something that is copied by big, that means that's a high quality, that's a high level of innovation.
Yeah.
Like for example, when iPhone was made, then everybody else had to make something like iPhone. They had to copy.
Yes, my iPhone was made.
Geopanel is like that.
Yes,
it's the
my
iPhone
iPhone.
of construction.
Yes, my iPhone was made by Apple.
Yeah.
Apple was recognized at the time.
Yeah.
like a big company. And so when Apple born with Apple II or Apple I don't know,
Yeah.
but
Well,
in the beginning of the trend of computers in the
yeah.
world. And so it's different.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah, it's true. It's a big company. Yeah. When they
Yeah,
made it, it was. They're strange because they behave like a new innovative company, but they're huge. Yeah.
yeah,
So it's cool. Well, thank you very much. Yeah.
yeah. You too.
Okay.
It
Talk to
was
you
a
later.
pleasure. Okay,
Ciao.
ciao,
Ciao.
ciao,
Ciao.
ciao.